Hi, very good evening to you. It's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. Guys, I won't beat about the bush. I'll try and get through this as quick as possible. We've been updating all afternoon the data that's been coming in from Canada. We got a little bit behind on that, but we brought it all up to date for you guys. If you want to go over to the website, poleshiftnews.com, you can see the last 6 entries that we've put in there. We've also, for you guys as promised, done an Earth Elf update, so I will quickly get through that for you. But before I do, big thanks to the few people that support this observatory, and it's really unique. I'm not going to go on too much. I think you guys know how unique it is. There is not other observatories like ours that is monitoring the magnetic North Pole, which will be updated in just a matter of days for you guys, so you'll know the latest position and its migration over the last half a month or so. But it is very important that we keep it even funded minimally. You know, we had over 4,000 people watch the video that we done yesterday. Very few, less than, you could count less people on one hand that chipped in a few bucks for the observatory. You know, a lot of work does go in, and having said that, let's just get through this, because it is around 6:30 here in the UK, and I'm sure you guys have got family and other things to do, so let's get through some of the things that have changed very slightly over the last couple of weeks with the anomalies that we monitor. Starting then with the CO2 at 430. Over the year, on average, it's falling. So, you know, although it's falling in parts per million, mainstream media are saying nothing about it. What we do here at the observatory, when we take a CO2 reading, obviously you have to let the machine warm up the probe inside for 30 seconds. But whilst we're doing that, we put the background radiation detector on, and we run that as you would do correctly if you're doing a background radiation check, checking for gamma, beta and alpha particles. You would run it for at least 2 or 3 minutes, and that's exactly what we do for the CO2 meters and the oxygen sensor, so that we get a more accurate over, you know, a range of a few minutes time period. So we're at 430 parts per million. Atmospheric oxygen hasn't changed much, fluctuates between 0.50 on a daily basis, really. I mean, that there's nothing to worry about with atmospheric CO2, but the reason why we include it is because from time to time people want to know what the levels of oxygen are, so we provide it for you. Radiation background count dropped 1 microsievert over, you know, the last time we measured it. It was at 00.16. As you can see, it's at 00.15. The global volcanoes that are actually in eruption are at 25. That is standard, hasn't changed at all in the last few days or weeks. And, you know, again, the reason why we put the number of active in eruption volcanoes there for you is because, you know, on some channels on YouTube, you'll go on there and they'll, you know, be screaming that the earth is falling to bits and that there's earthquakes and volcanoes everywhere. And talking about earthquakes, we can see that the latest largest earthquake in the last 24 hours is 6.6 in Panama, close to the Colombia border region. Muons per hour per square meter in the UK is at 511. Muons per hour per square meter in Canada is at 802, and both those figures are nominal. There's nothing exciting happening there with those. You know why we're monitoring the muons? Because muons are a biparticle, subatomic particle of collisions that have happened up in our atmosphere. And if they start going through the roof, it's a good indication that something has just radically changed with our magnetosphere. Or we have a pulsar directly pointed at Earth. Okay, so moving on, sunspot numbers fell from the last time we measured them. There was at 9, now they're at 6. You know, again, not what you wouldn't expect at this time of the solar cycle. I think we're off the top of my head about 18 months or so from solar maximum, and on average, this is going to be another small, as we've seen in the the history over the last 3 cycles, it's going to be another low one at the end of the cycle. Geomagnetic field is quiet and solar X-rays are normal. Our jet streams, guys, like I pointed out in the video the other day, are unstable, and they are still that way, and that is largely because the amount of cosmic rays that are now coming through our magnetosphere and interacting with the upper jet streams, and in turn they form seeding particles, like we've demonstrated to you guys the way this works, and that in turn causes those jet streams to be laden with water particles, and as a result of that they become very sluggish, and we see more of what we're seeing now on a regular basis, which is interchange between the two, the polar jet stream mixing with the subtropical jet stream, vice versa, and on the southern hemisphere exactly the same. And now we're seeing more increasingly the jet stream interaction between the two subtropicals, both over north of the equator and south of the equator. Again, your climatologists are still screaming about CO2 causing all these problems and climate change, and it's man-made since the 1780s when the Industrial Revolution got kicked off. It's a load of grandma. What a load of rubbish. We need accurate and honest reporting on these events so that people aren't misled. Like I mentioned in the video yesterday, this is all down to corruption and the need for greedy people to wax themselves even further richer on the back of the taxpayers. Guys, I think we'll round it up there. I just want to mention that there is a link down there. It would be amazing to see a few more people. I know we can do better. When we've had 4,000 people come and view a video and less fingers on my hand are the ones that are supporting, we can do much better. And it is important. You won't find another observatory on YouTube or on the internet that is doing the same as what we are. And we say it every time, it's not mandatory, but a few have got to help. That's what the bottom line is. Okay, you have an amazing evening, guys. Look after your loved ones as always. Bye for now.